5 brief days isn't much time to get a full picture of the life in a vast and sprawling city like Kolkata. At best, each new day reveals only tiny fragments of the unique life of this great Indian city. Many times I felt that I could never really understand the fabric and flow of a world that is simply so different from my own. For in my eyes, it is a place of maddening contradictions. In one moment, you feel as though you cannot wait to leave its shabby and tired streets, and in the next you become aware of its deep inner beauty, and a much more significant world slowly reveals itself. On my first day, I went to visit the birthplace of Schubas Chandra Bose, better known to Bengalis as Netaji. It was January 23rd, and it just so happened to be the anniversary of his birthday. The streets around his home were alive with celebration. His is a life still honored today as one of the great sons of Bengal. At one time, he was a colleague of Gandhi, and yet his path for Indian independence was ultimately much different. The true story of the eventual end of his life during World War II is still enveloped in mystery. Far from believing in nonviolence, he felt that his country's independence from Britain would need a stronger remedy. And yet his spiritual dimension and his devotion to his country were of the highest. He once said, "One of the dreams that have inspired me and given a purpose to my life is that of a great and undivided Bengal, devoted to the service of India and of humanity. A Bengal that is above all sects and groups, and is the home alike of the Muslim, the Hindu, the Christian, and the Buddhist. It is the Bengal of my dreams, the Bengal of the future, still in embryo, that I worship and strive to serve in my daily life." The lasting imprint Britain made on the city of Calcutta, both visual and in subtle ways, is almost incalculable. Before the British arrived in the 1600s, the place was not much more than a village. But Britain envisioned Calcutta as the crown jewel and the epicenter for their East India Company. Over 300 years of occupation, dozens of impressive buildings throughout the city were put up and reflect the financial and political significance of Calcutta to them throughout the colonial period. Of course, many could not return home to Britain. So Park Street Cemetery now is a quiet green oasis in an otherwise bustling, noisy city. For a short period in the 1700s, this became the final resting place for wealthy Europeans in the great city of Kolkata. For modern tourists, it provides quite a different kind of transitory peace. Long, straight, shaded paths that lead from one quiet surprise to the next. The place is a beautiful reminder of how brief human life is when compared to the monuments we can create around us. How leaving these brief messages can still reach out across the ages. The workers here keep it from turning into a jungle, and also try and stem the ravages of time and weather. Kenneth has been the manager here for almost a decade. He is a happy person, but told me he doesn't like to smile for cameras because he has no teeth. Hindus look upon the passing of life in a much different way. For them, the body is just a temporary vessel for the soul, which continually seeks realization in and through each new incarnation. Once cremated, the ashes are then simply and symbolically released into the Ganges River close by. In Kumartali, you find an amazing world of the idol makers, which are used in different festivals throughout the year in Kolkata. Down many dark streets are dozens of shops making clay images. The ones currently on display are those of the goddess Durga in the early stages of decoration. The children of the street, however, need no introduction. Their smiles communicate more than enough. The harmonious mix of so many different religions is an amazing aspect of Kolkata's spiritual diversity. In one day, you can continually visit one different place of worship after another. Call in with Mother Teresa's Sisters of Charity, and then on to the large, magnificent cluster of Jain temples. For me, this was a new experience. And yet Jainism is an ancient religion in which the goal is the attainment of emancipation by freeing the soul from the shackles of karma. The most important Hindu temple in Calcutta is most certainly the Kali Temple in the heart of the city. It is a place that teems with intense worshippers and also has many, many street vendors that cater to those coming and going throughout the day. Yet, if there was any one thing that drew me to Calcutta more than anything else, that would have to be a visit to Dakinishwar, which is on the edge of the great city. For it was here in the late 1800s that the great spiritual figure Ramakrishna once lived and taught. His belief was that God realization was the supreme goal of all living beings. This was my first visit to India. Within each moment and through each new place I went, I was gifted with one unique experience after another. It was a vast spectrum that ranged from shocking disorder to tranquil serenity. In my life, I have been to no city quite like Calcutta, a place in which your thoughts and your feelings can be sometimes so simultaneously at odds. And yet for my heart there is no conflict or question, for it listens to a deep and inner voice. Even now it can still hear the enchanting call of India, and wants to find its way back there again. From Calcutta, this is Utpal Marshall.